Welcome to this virtual education session, Steps to Improving Your Diabetes Control, Treating Hypos Appropriately. We will cover the basics of what is hypoglycemia, which we will refer to as a hypo throughout, and how to treat hypos appropriately using the rule of 15. We will discuss what to do if you have frequent hypos and how to investigate why this might be. We will discuss if you have impaired hypo awareness and then recap what to do if you have a hypo that requires assistance. Let's begin with, what is a hypo? Think about how you would define a hypo. A hypo is a blood glucose of under 4 millimoles. Now take a moment just to think about the following questions. How do you currently treat hypos? Do you carry treatment with you when you go out? Do your friends and family know how to help you if you were to have a hypo and require assistance? We will discuss these across the next few slides. Firstly, if using the Libre sensor and it reports a blood glucose of under 4 millimoles, then confirm this with a finger prick. This is due to the Libre sensor measuring the glucose in the fluid around your cells rather than the blood, and therefore if the blood glucose is either increasing or decreasing quickly, you might get a different reading. It is more accurate and more reliable to test your blood glucose with a finger prick. Let's move on to why it is important to treat hypos appropriately. As you've likely seen for yourself, if you do not treat a hypo correctly, then it can be difficult to manage your blood glucose for the following hours or even into the next day. If not treated correctly, you may have subsequent hypos or have a high blood glucose. We recommend following the rule of 15, which will be outlined on the next slides. Step 1. If you measure a blood glucose of under 4 millimoles, then first eat 15 grams of fast-acting carbohydrates. This will cause your blood glucose to rise quickly, getting you out of the hypo. These are examples of what 15 grams of fast-acting carbohydrate look like. 3 Bassett jelly babies, or 150 ml of orange juice or cola, or 5 dextrose. Glucose content varies between brands, therefore check the nutrition label. It is not recommended that you use chocolate to treat hypos, as the fat content causes the carbohydrates to be digested slowly, and this will likely not increase your blood glucose quick enough. Step 2. After taking the 15 grams of fast-acting carbohydrates, wait 15 minutes before retesting your blood glucose. This 15 minutes will give the fast-acting carbohydrate time to be digested, absorbed, and start increasing your blood glucose. If you test before this and your blood glucose is still rising, it can be tempting to eat more, over-treating the hypo. This will likely cause your blood glucose to then be too high. If after 15 minutes your blood glucose remains under 4 millimole, then repeat step 1. It sometimes may take 2 or 3 doses of 5 grams of fast-acting carbohydrates to get your blood glucose above 4 millimoles. If your blood glucose has risen and is now above 4 millimoles, then you can move on to step 3. Step 3. Eat 15 grams of slow-acting, starchy carbohydrates. These starchy carbohydrates will be digested and absorbed more slowly. This should reduce the risk of subsequent hypos and keep your blood glucose within target. Examples could be a slice of toast, a banana, a packet of crisps, or a cereal bar. You should carry both fast-acting carbohydrates and slow-acting carbohydrates with you for treating hypos. When using insulin therapy, it is not uncommon to experience hypos. However, if you have frequent hypos, for example more than twice a week, we would recommend investigating why this might be. If you have frequent hypos or unexplained hypos, then try asking yourself these questions. Did you take too much food insulin with your last meal or snack? Have you been physically active? And do you know how to adjust insulin pre and post exercise? Is your background insulin dose correct? Is the weather hot, or have you had a hot shower or bath? Have you been drinking alcohol? Do you rotate your injection sites? These are a few common reasons for hypos. If you're unsure how to manage any of these topics, then please refer to the virtual education video that covers that particular issue. And if you're still unsure, then please get in touch with your diabetes team. Hypos requiring assistance. If you have a hypo that requires assistance, then this would be classified as a serious hypoglycemic event. A very low blood glucose can make you semi-conscious or unconscious. If you're unable to treat your hypo yourself, then you may need someone else to give you a thick gel called glucogel, which is available on prescription. 15 grams of this gel should be squirted into the inside of your cheek and can be used if you're confused or semi-conscious, but not if you are unconscious. An injection of glucagon, a naturally occurring hormone, can be used if glucogel doesn't work or if you are unconscious. It raises your blood glucose by releasing glucose stored from the liver. Glucagon is also available on prescription and should be kept in the refrigerator. It is important that your friends, family or work colleague know how to administer glucagon. It takes 10 to 15 minutes to work and may make you sick afterwards. As soon as you can safely swallow, you should have something starchy to eat. If glucogel or glucagon don't help, then your friends or family need to call 999. If you have had any hypos requiring assistance, then you must let us, the diabetes team, know and we can support you and help reduce the chance of another one happening. If you have had 2 serious hypo events within 12 months, you must inform the DVLA and stop driving. Hypo awareness. You'll recognise your own symptoms or hypo warnings. These vary from person to person. However, if you do not feel any symptoms of a hypo and do not get any warning that your blood glucose is dropping, then this is called impaired hypo awareness. It may be safer for you to aim for a higher blood glucose target to reduce the risk of your blood glucose dropping low without you realising. It is important to test your blood glucose regularly if you do not feel hypo symptoms. Impaired hypo awareness. The gold score questionnaire can be used to assess if you have an impaired hypo awareness. If you score less than 4, then this suggests that you do have hypo awareness. If you score more than 4 or equal to 4, this suggests you do not have intact hypo awareness. So if you do score more than 4 or equal to 4, you must also inform the DVLA and stop driving. See the virtual education on driving for more information. Here are a few final tips on the session. If you have any questions or concerns regarding topics raised in this virtual education session, then please get in touch with your diabetes team.